Hey guys, I am just gonna get into this, but I'm doing a commentary today about a situation that happened because I just wanted to put my 2 cents in before I start. No hate to any of the people involved in this, and also I'm just gonna talk about the issue that happened in order to talk about a bigger issue that is kind of a problem. So if that makes any sense, let's just get into it. I was just browsing through YouTube as one does, and I saw a community post that Makayla put up, which Makayla, I cannot pronounce her last name, but like I'll put her user, and she put up a community post about someone pretty much dragging her. And I read the whole post because I was just really like, I'm a messy bitch. I love reading into like drama things, like problems. Like I don't want problems, but I like to read in, like I will watch a tea channel for days type of person. Like I honestly have watched so many videos on 0nlyfan, yet I am not even following 0nlyfan. I'm just here for the mess. So I read all of it, and then it said like the community post was a response to a video that a girl named Gingy, I think that's how you pronounce it, did. And so of course, being the nosy bitch that I am, I watched the whole fucking video. And the video was about whether or not Makayla scams people, but it also wasn't about Makayla.
As a means to protect yourself from people in the community who are predatory and who are going to sell you shoutouts that you're not going to see a return on, okay? This all sparked because I recently just watched a Jubilee video where they had OnlyFans creators on there, and there is a creator on there who their entire feed on OnlyFans is like 10 plus posts a day of women who pay $20.
So Jubilee is a company, it's an Asian company, Asian-run company, YouTube channel that does a lot of like thought things. So they do this thing called Spectrum, I think that's what it's called, where they have like people who are all like, it'll be like all trans people or all like OnlyFans people or all sex workers, and they would say like on the line. I'll show you a clip.
Porn is art. 3, 2, 1.
They do that. They see if they agree or not. And Makayla was in that video. Honestly, I don't think anyone would have, well, not anyone, but I knew some people would assume it's Makayla, but like I don't think it was. She didn't purposely say that this video was towards Makayla. So she was just saying that certain types of OnlyFans creators only really do paid promos, and they don't really post anything of themselves, which is kind of not a scam, but she was saying that is not what she does, and why she would never really do shout out videos. She feels like she doesn't agree with the way that she does her OnlyFans, which is fine and cool. And she didn't name anyone or anything. She just said why and how and why she thinks paid shout outs are kind of a waste. Finally ending the video, I didn't remember that in Gingy's video she said predatory, which is probably the like thing that was the catalyst to all this. But I still feel like she didn't say her name, so I mean, you could figure out by like process of elimination, but making a statement sometimes isn't always the best idea. I think it would be different if she said it with her whole chest that she was going after Makayla, but she wasn't. Subscribe to her YouTube for a few months, and I really like her personality. I think she's like, her videos are pretty great. She does like OnlyFans tips and like just kind of like lifestyle things, and I really like her personality. I think it's really cute. I did take a big chunk out. I was explaining like how her OnlyFans and stuff works, but I don't even think that's relevant because everyone does their OnlyFans differently. That's fine. If people don't like it, they just won't buy it again, or they'll ask for cash back or credit back or whatever, like a refund, right? So, and I think it depends on the person who is paying to feel like if something is predatory. Just the second discussion I have in this video. I can understand why someone may not like that, because although it's not a scam, if most of the time when people are paying for like the monthly subscription, they want to see you. And so like a lot of people who do those paid promotions do put it on their free version and things like that, because since people aren't paying for that model, they don't feel as bad even if they see other shoutouts, or they have it at a lower price range. I see a lot of girls with price ranges of $3 to $5 who do constant shoutouts, but I think the problem came from some people think it's a scam because it is so expensive. She has shown how much she makes from subscriptions, all of that, and it also, I subscribed to her thing, and I was like, I felt like that isn't my cup of tea, but I can understand maybe someone would want to do this. Maybe if you like her and if you're treating this like a Patreon and you want to give her like money every month and like still talk to her, I would understand why some people may do it. But I personally did it one month was like, this creator is just not for me, and that's okay. It kind of made me sad and disappointed in some ways, but I just was never going to talk about it on YouTube because it just wasn't like, even if you like a creator, there's just some things you're just not going to like or you're just not going to agree with, and that's fine. So because that whole like shout out thing, paid promotion thing was like the main part of it, here's the thing. Her paid promotions are $30 a post, which is okay. It's fine. If someone wants to pay $30 for a promo, you can. And she also has said that she feels like she's helping people. She's not scamming people. She doesn't force people to do it. And also that, you know, this is a side thing for her. And like, yeah, like, you know, if you want a shout out, and there are people who come and do multiple shout outs and stuff like that, because there's no guarantee of working. Paid promotions, just in general, are kind of a lottery thing. It may work, it may not work, especially if, here's the thing, you have to pick someone who looks like you, is kind of the same niche as you, or paid promotions on OnlyFans does not work at all. It just doesn't. It's just not, it's just the name of the game. If you are plus sized, I did a whole video on that, but yeah, if you're plus sized and black and you are paying for a shout out from someone who's white and skinny, your audiences probably don't work out. Paying for it's kind of a waste of money. I did do an experiment where I paid for a few of them and for me, but if you want to watch the video where I talk about it, I do talk about it pretty respectfully. It's on my page. I personally don't think I'll ever do paid promotions, but I do understand the people who do and the people that works for and things like that. So I'm not knocking the hustle. I think that here's the thing. I think that because we're at this weird part where OnlyFans and adult work is mainstream and there's a lot of helper people, type of people, if you guys don't know, like those advice people out there. I could do a whole video on YouTube advice / like growth advice accounts, how I feel about it, because I am subscribed to a bunch of health advice, like help advice type of channels, but I feel like a lot of people take it too seriously, and I don't mean the person making the video. Obviously, these are general advices. This is things that works for them. But a lot of people will get mad and say that people are lying or scamming, especially if the advice doesn't work for them, even though it's not a like catch-all. Some advice just doesn't work for certain people, and that's okay. But obviously, because she does OnlyFans advice videos and she's at the top of that search term, I'll like look it up and put a picture in of the rankings. Some people are gonna have some bad experiences with her. But I think that here's the thing, which I don't think that this is the case for this situation whatsoever, but I do understand, and like I'm gonna dial this in, is like a lot of people who do sex work, or especially right now who are joining OnlyFans and things like that, are people who are desperate that need money. Typically they need quick money, and so they think that doing things like OnlyFans would give them quick, easy money. It's not quick, easy money at all, but they think so. And so they think that if they pay $30, then boom, they'll get all these fans and all these followers, and a shout out will always work and blah, blah, blah. But yes, it's also kind of the problem where young people who are like just turned 18, who are naive, don't really understand how stigmatized and how hard sex work and things like that are, do it. And videos like this advice videos, especially for OnlyFans and adult work, never actually tell you about the negative parts about it. A lot of them only say the positives, and that's kind of where I think this is like kind of detrimental, because she is saying, oh, I made this much money, I made 6 figures, I did this, my whole life is better. But from a sex work perspective, it seems like, to some people, I'm not saying that this is necessarily how I feel, is that she isn't actually doing sex work. But here's the thing, I don't think that OnlyFans, and it always has to be sex work, but because of the stigma that we put on OnlyFans for being sex work, people feel like she's scamming people out of their sex work, or she's not putting in the work, or blah, 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 blah. And here's the thing, some people are just not gonna, like, as fucked up as this is, some people, and that's the thing I feel like with a lot of these advice channels too, do not have to put in the work that normal people do. And I'm not saying that they're like, you have to be super beautiful or super that. You can just be super lucky. At that point, if your channel blows up, if something happens, if you are just like, this is just something that works a lot better for you, you could be in the 1%, right? But being in the 1% doesn't necessarily mean that you worked harder or smarter or anything. I feel like I didn't explain it, so I'm going to try to explain it again. But you don't have to be the very, very, very best person in order to teach someone to do something. You just have to be at a medium okay level, right? And then people, it's kind of a cycle. You learn the medium amount, and then people learn from you and you grow. So you don't ever really need to, like, yes, you have to work in order to get to that point, but you don't have to overexert yourself because the medium is just okay. Because if you got to a medium point where people can somewhat admire you, it no longer matters if you're working as hard, which makes life easier. And it's this weird, like, it feels like a mouse or like a hamster on a wheel. It constantly is like going around and around and around. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my head, but I'm pretty sure I'm like not mentally normal sometimes. So neurotypical, I'm not neurotypical. There are people who probably work harder and smarter. It's hard. Like someone told me this before. It's the hardest at the bottom. People, in order to get up, everyone's crawling up. It's just like, just think of like zombies piling up trying to get out of like a room, you know, like that's how it kind of is at the bottom. And so everyone wants an advantage or to push and to hopefully get something changed, to hopefully get to a point where things are easier. Again, I don't think that these are scams. It's just that when a lot of these, it's just that there's advice videos, and this is a problem with advice videos for OnlyFans and adult work in general. It's not just a Makayla thing, is that since it makes it seem so easy while it's not, because for some people it was easy, people get into something that they don't really fully understand. Because at the end of the day, if you are 16, 17, and you're just waiting, and you do OnlyFans the day you turn 18, you are not, like, 18-year-old you, I don't even think 21-year-old me would have, you don't deal with things the same way as 25-year-old me would deal with it, you know, like, it's hard out there. I just don't, not that, I don't know, there's like this whole, like, I have this whole, like, thing I want to say, like, I want to just grab it by the balls, but, yeah, people will take advantage of you. There's a lot of things that may go wrong, you might be killed. A lot of crimes are against sex workers, and so, when we don't talk about the negative parts, which I think I am low-key guilty of, because I don't really like talking about negative things on this channel. I want to start being more raw and real with you guys and doing more of these videos where I'm just raw and real with you guys, but I do understand that it's kind of, and it's at no one's fault. I think that when it was YouTube advice or TikTok advice, those things don't seem as detrimental because it's not someone's body, it's not someone's potential life. Like, whether it be like they're like being killed, murdered, or even never being able to get a regular job again. There are so many risks in sex work that a lot of these advice, or even like, oh, like, you're gonna pay promo and you will guaranteeing fans, not saying that she did that, it's all kind of detrimental. It's all kind of hard. It's so hard. It's such a hard topic, and I think, I don't know, with the rise of OnlyFans, we kind of see this, there's going to be this negativeness that comes out of it. I can guarantee it. I just think that we're not going to see it for a few years, but there is going to be some negatives, and we're going to hear some, like, horror stories that came from OnlyFans, and because they joined, because they saw videos in which it was just so easy. I will admit that I started because of those. It's so easy money. Honestly, I will say that it is one, I do YouTube, I do TikTok, I do Twitch, but it's honestly, out of all of those things, I would say it's one of my most frustrating and irritating thing that I do that constantly takes work. I feel like with YouTube and TikTok, I can kind of take like this break or like work-life balance, but because you're getting paid and like things like that, like, I just don't feel like it's so unhealthy. It can be so unhealthy, and it's so much work, and I don't think that most people are prepared for how much work it is. I mean, yes, and I think that too, also, that it's a lot of work for not that much pay. Yes, there are people who make like 500,000 million, so much money, but that's not most people, and we don't talk about that when we talk about advice, because no one wants to hear you may not be able to make it. But in the reality of things, someone has to stay in the hood. Someone has to stay in the trailer parks. And that's really fucked up, but that's just kind of where we're at. Like, if everyone was gonna have this Cinderella story and everything's gonna be great and good, then no one would have those, like, oh my god, I made it out of this, like, rags to riches story. And we have to think about it like that. I think there's a bigger problem. We have such more bigger problems. But I think this situation kind of showed what was the bigger problem. We have people who are, one, too young to understand what they're really signing up for, really, in the long term. We have, two, people who are poor that really feel like they need to get out of their situation and will do anything and will sometimes use their last $30 in order to hopefully make more money, which is dangerous. And it's just, it's not that anyone's purposely taking advantage of people, but it just feels like, since some creators, not Makayla, I'm just talking about in a general sense at this point, will use referral codes and things like that, not caring if someone ruins their life or no longer can get a job, just so they can get that sweet referral money. Which, honestly, the referral link is not even that great if you think about the fact that it's only when they make money. So, if they don't make any money, you are not making any money. So, you're banking on also the fact when people are pushing their referral codes to you that these people will potentially make money. Not all of these people will make money. Ergo, this is also a gamble. All these things are a gamble, but paying like $10 to $30, $40, $50 for a shout out seems a little bit less gambly than referrals. So it makes sense on the other end of people who are giving the shout outs to fucking do it. Because it makes sense. It works for certain people. Why not do it? I don't know. I don't think I've ever done a shout out. Unless you count my own page, because I have a basic page and then I have a VIP page. I've never really done a shout out. I don't think I have. I followed friends and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I think that's it. I think I probably have more points, and I'm gonna be editing, and I'll remember them. We might come in with editing Shelovecleopatra with all of the things that I missed and the points that I wanted to make, but because I was talking and I didn't make a script, I forgot. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe I'll do a part 2. I want to talk about some of the negative things and the not so happy things that I've dealt with doing this, because honestly, I am at that point where I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I'm at that point with OnlyFans that I am not as into it as I was like 8 months ago when I started. I am definitely kind of not liking it as much. And there are some reasons, and I want to do videos on that. I will also be doing a video on my first time doing taxes for OF, because I did do that last month, and I want to talk about it. And I also have an experiment that I did just to see, and that video will be up later this month, or maybe next month. I don't know. I schedule my videos. I film my videos in chunks, and I just schedule them out. So yeah, I hope you like this video. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.